Okay, good afternoon. This year is Leila Nishmas, Elimelech ben Levi Yitzchak, Osher Shmuel Chaim ben Ephraim V'Tziona, Esther bas Sarah, Tzvi ben Shraga, Rivka bas Yitzchak Isaac, Mira bas Yaakov, Leila Nishmas Tzvi Dov ben Chaim Pesach, Leila Nishmas Yitzchak ben Sarah, Devorah bas Yitzchak, Leah bas Simcha, Avram ben Mordechai David, Ruvain ben Shmuel, Chana Golda bas Yaakov, Chaim ben Fega, Mataleya bas Elio, Osher ben Bracha, Chani Ita bas Moshe David, Yeshua ben Shmuel, Yaakov ben Yitzchak, Mordechai Netzach ben Rivka, Shlomo bat Clara, Batya Esther bat Benyamin, Zalman Lei ben Moshe, Amichai ben Yaakov, Leila Nishmatam, Yeshua Vishnu ben Leah. Today's shir is, yes, I said it, right? Yes. For Shalema. Today's shir is called Doing Mitzvot. Can one fake it till you make it? Nikimia. Doing Mitzvot, fake it. Can you fake it till you make it? So Yehuda's kind enough to pass around the source sheets. What do I mean that? Doing Mitzvot, fake it till you make it. If you look at side number one, it's one paper with two sides. Thank you, Yehuda. Side number one. How to choose a Rebbe. Yiddish Chanoch, how do you choose a Rebbe? Side number one. Okay? So if you look at the bottom of the sheet where in side number one it says how to choose a Rebbe, see the bottom of that, Rabbi Yaakov, and highlighted there. It says Pasuk in Malachi Bet. You see the bottom of side number one? Underline Malachi Bet, yes? You have it, Sonia? Kisif se Kohen Yishmeru Das. Malachi says the lips of the Kohen Yishmeru Das will observe that. The Torah Yavakshim Ipil. And the Torah you seek from his mouth. Ki Malach Hashem Tzavot. Okay, Malach Hashem Tzavot. The bottom of side number one. It's highlighted, right? So the top of the page on side number one, top of the page, you have it, Chava? Im harav doel malach Hashem tzor. So Talmud Chagiga says, if the Rav is compared to a malach, yivaksha Torah mipio, then you should seek Torah from his mouth. Vim lav, but if your Rebbe is not a malach, al yivaksha Torah mipio, then what? Let's all go home right now. Strange Gemara in the Chama, in Chagiga, on the Pasuk in Malachi. If your Rebbe is compared to a malach, then you should study Torah by him. Vim lav. But if he's not a malach, al yavakshu Torah piyul, get yourself another teacher.
So Rabbi Sprecher.
That means we should go home now.
No, you're a malach.
How could I be a malach? I don't understand. There's a pasuk in Koheles, Adam ein tzadik ba'aretz, asher yasa tova lo yechta. Every human being is a sinner, including Holy Moses. So it means we should, what, Esther, not study from anybody. So what does it mean? What does it mean? Nobody's a malach. Every person's a sinner. Koheles chapter 7 says every person's a sinner, Avram. So what does it mean? If your Rebbe is a malach, study by him. If not, you don't. So what's the explanation? Explanation is, what does a malach mean? Malach means a messenger. Shliach Hashem. The prophet who said this, his name is Malachi. What does Malachi mean, Hanoch? My messenger. Malach doesn't really mean angel, it means messenger.
An angel is a messenger.
But there can be many human agents. So Rav Soloveitchik explained it doesn't mean your Rebbe has to be an angel. Every human being is a sinner. What it means is, who are you working for? Are you working for the boss or are you working for yourself? If the Rebbe works for the boss, then study by him, even though he's a sinner. If the Rebbe works for himself, then what? Who do you work for? Elisheva, who are you working for? All for the boss? So if you are a malach, a shliach, an agent of God, then choose that guy as your Rebbe, even though he's a sinner, because everybody's a sinner. But if the guy is working for himself, then get yourself what? Another teacher. So what does that mean? What is that? Another teacher. So the Talmud tells a story of Rabbi Meir, right? The great Rabbi Meir would learn from Elisha ben Avua. The guy became a heretic. Was he a Malach Hashem? Who was he working for, Chanoch? He wasn't working for the boss. Elisha ben Avua, he was working for himself. And yet Rabbi Meir, what? Studied by him. Why? We're going to get to that. So how does the Rambam define this halacha? Side number 1, Mikim. You see it says a Rambam there, a Rambam Hilchas Talmud Torah, on side number 1 on the left column, second paragraph. The Rambam rules that what? That the Rav, even though he's a Chacham Gadol, but he doesn't walk the Derech Tovah, then you shouldn't study by him. No matter how great rabbi he is, if he doesn't what? Walk Derech Tovah. What does that mean, Derech Tovah?
Walk the talk.
Walk the walk and talk the talk, right, Sonia? Then forget about it, right? But we got a problem over here. So if the rabbi is working for himself, not for the boss, don't study by him, right? But Ruvain, we got a problem. Remember Houston Control, we have a problem? Houston, we have a problem. So if you look at side number 2, Chanoch, see I made copies and I underlined it in yellow, so... But I'll translate, that's my job. That's my job, to translate. So you won't have to go to Ulpan, okay? See where it has the yellow highlighter? Remember they call me mellow yellow, right?
Yeah, but there's a few places.
Okay, in the text. In the text. We're not up to Rashi and Tosfot. We're up to the text. I'm a text man, okay? Tanya. See what it says Tanya in the yellow? Anyone who studies Torah, what does Lishma mean? For her sake. Who's the her? The Shechina. The Shechina. Shechina is feminine, right? Then the Torah for him is what? A potion of life to life. L'chaim. L'chaim. I won't give up my day job, don't worry. Shenemar, there's a pasuk in Mishlei, Eitz Chaim Hi le'machazikim ba. The Torah is a tree of life to those who grab onto her. The Omer, and it says, Refuah tiyel sarecha. Cure will be for your minister. The minister wants to get cured. Our ministers in the cabinet, in the government, they need a big cure. They have to study the Torah, right? Otherwise, they're spiritually sick. The Omer, there's a pasuk in Mishlei, Ki motzi, the Torah says, if you found me, motza chayim. Mishlei, the Torah is speaking, Ki motzi, if you find me, motza chayim, then you find what? Life. That's if you study Torah for her sake. Who's her? The Shekhinah. V'chol ha'isig Torah shelo lishma. But if you study Torah not for her sake, if you're working for yourself, Naselo sam hamavet lo yaleinu. Then the Torah becomes not a potion of life, potion of death. Shenema, how do we know that? There's a pasuk in Devarim 32, Yarav kamota likhi. Let the Torah drop down like rain. Ve'yarof. Ve'ein arifa ela hariga. And the word yarof, which means drop down, can also mean what? Killing. Shenem of orfu shametan egla benachal. The egla rufa, you should decapitate it. So Rabbi Yirmeh said to Azera, let the Rebbe teach me a baraisa. Amalei chalash libi. I'm having a bad hair day. I can't teach today. Chalash libi, David. The rabbi was having an off day. And I'm not able to. You have that? Next word is leima mar milsa agadata. So if you can't teach me a halacha, Rebbe, you're having a bad hair day, teach me some agadah. Remember the Talmud, Elisheva, is made up of haggadah and halacha. The halachic part of the Talmud is much more difficult. But the agadah, that's like stories, that's easier. So you're not up to teaching me halacha, Rebbe, at least teach me some agadah. Amalei, yes, I'll teach you a hagadah. Amalei Hochi Amar Rabbi Yochanan Mai Dichsiv. There's a pasuk in Parsha Shoftim Ki Adam Eitz HaSodeh. The human being is compared to what? A fruit tree of a field. Ki Adam Eitz HaSodeh. Is a human being compared to, is it really a tree, Avram? Get real. Human being is not a tree. Ela Mishim Dichsiv, the Torah goes on, you're not allowed to chop down a fruit tree, right? Dichsiv Ki Mimenu Toichal. Because you eat the fruits of it. Don't destroy the lava bal tashchit. Not to destroy anything useful, not just a fruit tree. Not just a fruit tree. There's negative commandment in the Torah. You're not allowed to destroy anything that can be useful for what? For human beings. And this you should not cut down. The ksiv oyster tashchit, the karet. So certain trees you're allowed to cut down, and certain trees you're not allowed to. Which trees are you allowed to cut down? Barren trees. Barren trees. But fruit trees you're not allowed to cut down is baltashchis. So one pasuk says, don't cut down a fruit tree. And the other pasuk says, if a tree is a barren tree, you're allowed to cut down. So that's the simple explanation. What's the Agada interpretation? What's the Midrashic interpretation? Because we know Ayin Ponim LaTorah. The Torah has what? 70 meanings. Hoketzad. So besides the halacha of not chopping down a fruit tree, of not destroying anything that can be used for a human being, it also means, Rabbi Yaakov, on a allegorical level, Hoketzad, im Talmid Chacham Haganhu, if your teacher is a Talmid Chacham that has good midot, mimenu toichal, eat from him. What does that mean, eat from him? Learn from him. And don't cut him off. But if your Torah teacher is not a mensch, oto tashchit v'karet, cut him off. So look how Rashi explains it, David. Rashi is on the right column. It's highlighted in yellow. But you have that? On the right column, yellow. Elomakish adam le'etz hasadeh. A human being is compared to what? A tree in the field. Ma eitz hasadeh im eitz machalhu. If the tree is a fruit tree, mimenu toichal, you can eat from it. Va'olto lo tichros. You're not supposed to cut it down. Kach talmidei chachamim. The same thing with Torah scholars. Im hagenhu. If the Torah scholar is a man, she has good midot. Mimenu tochal. You shall eat from him. What does that mean, Avram? Limeid heimenu. Study by him. Vimlav. But if your Torah scholar is not a mensch, oto tashchit, sur me'elov, cut him off. Don't study by him. If he's not doing it lishma, if he means himself, he's not working for the boss. Connie, he's working for himself. Connie, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Ad mea ve'esrim. Onwards and upwards. Ad mea ve'esrim. Yes?
Why is it that in so many communities, the personal behavior of the Rav is completely ignored?
So that's why it's a good thing we have this year today. Can we talk? Let's talk. Who said that? Joan Rivers, right? So, Chanoch, what's going on? Can we talk? What's it all about? So, if the Torah teacher is working for the boss, study by him. If not, cut him off. So Tosfos has a bomb kasha on this, Chanoch. Look at the left side on Tosfot. See the left side? It's also yellow. Left side on top. Yehuda, have it? Yes, Yehuda? Where are you? Whoever studies Torah not for her own sake, then the Torah for him is a potion of death. Potion. Not a love potion, potion of death. So what does Tosfos say? Chanoch v'kasha. See the left column on top, Tosfot? V'kasha. I don't understand. Haloi amrinon, we learned in Masechet Pesachim, page 50, La'olam yasik adam b'torah, afilo she'enu l'shma. a person should always study Torah, even not for God's sake. Shemetoch shelo lishma, ba lishma. You have it, the left column on top, Elisheva. I highlighted in yellow. Because if you don't study Torah for her sake, eventually you'll graduate. Nike, just do it. Remember Nike commercial, Chava? Just do it. Even not for the boss, even for me. So this seems, Rose, a terrible contradiction. Looks like we have a problem. The Yesh Loimar, says Tosfot, the Trei Shelo Lishma Hava. There are two different types of Shelo Lishma. Two different types of Shelo Lishma. What does Shelo Lishma mean? Not for her.
Not for her sake. For
myself. When we say la'olam, what does la'olam mean? Always a person should do mitzvahs and study Torah, even what? Not for God. Hainu koloima kadesh yikaloi Rabbi or kadesh chabdu. Amazing. If you are studying Torah, doing mitzvot, you want to be called Rabbi, Doctor, PhD. You want the girls to like you. You want people to respect you. That's okay. That's okay, David. Why? Shemetoch shelo lishma, ba lishma. If you do it for the wrong reasons, Nike, just do it, eventually you'll what? You'll graduate. You have haftacha from God. Just do it. Whatever motivates you. You want the girl, you want the covet, you want the shidduch. Avram is also good. Shematoch shelo lishma, ba lishma. What does that mean? If you start out doing mitzvot and Torah for the wrong reasons, but if you keep doing it long enough, what's going to happen, buddy? You'll graduate. Graduate for the right reasons. Umash, I mean, what about the Gemara over here, Sonia? It says if you do Torah shelo lishma, then it becomes Sam Hamavet. Hainu mi shelomed lekanter. The English word contrary. We'll talk about it more. If you're doing it lekanter, we'll explain what that means later, then the Torah for him is a potion of death. So if you're doing it for selfish reasons, you want the covet, you want the girl, you want the shidduch, you want to get shlishi and maftir, and people should stand up for you, that's okay. But if you're doing it like kanter, we'll explain later what that means, so stay awake, then the Torah for him is a potion of death. Okay? So before we explain what that means, we'll go to the next Tosfot. See the next Tosfot in the left column? Im Talmud Chacham Hagon Mimenu Tochal. If your Torah teacher has good midot, then you should eat from him. Perush, Lamad Lefanov, then study by him. V'ota lo tichrot, and don't cut him off. Kalaima lo tifrad mimenu. Don't separate yourself from him. Leilach lifnei Rav Achar, stick with him. If your Torah teacher has good midot, don't cut him off, study by him. Vim lav. But if your Torah teacher has no good midot, loy talmud lefanov, don't study by him. We have a problem. What about acher? Darmina mitalmudim mitalmud chacham af mishena hagun Rab Meir. Rab Meir, the great Tana Rab Meir. You know Rab Meir Balanes? Yeah. Stam Mishnah ka Rab Meir. If you have a Stam Mishnah in Shas, who's the author? Rab Meir. You know who his Torah teacher was? A deformed rabbi. A deformed rabbi. Ooh, show us what's going on over here. How could he study from Acher? He was an Apikoris. No, after. The Talmud says clearly after Acher became a deformed rabbi, Rab Meir continued, Esther, to what? To study by him. Doesn't this contradict what we're saying? Houston, we have a problem.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe, like you said, if you keep on doing it, then you'll graduate. In other words, maybe he'll bring him back.
Maybe he'll bring him back. Okay. But Tosfos says something else. Hainu dafke talmid chacham yochal limod lefanov. Who can study by a deformed rabbi if the student is a great talmid chacham? Lefi shelo yilmad mimasav. Since Rab Meir was such a great talmid chacham, and he was solid in his emunah, he's not going to get spoiled by a deformed rabbi. Avol me'enoi talmid chacham. But if the student is not a Torah scholar with his emunah intact, ein mishoy lilmod lefanav, you can't study by what? A corrupt rabbi. So what's the Tosfos saying? Don't mix, what? It depends. Tosfos says what? Depends. Rab Meir, who was a great tzaddik and a great Torah scholar, there's no chance that Acher can what? Corrupt him. He could what? Continue to study. Dafke Talmid Chacham, like Rab Meir, Yochal Limod Lefanav, can study by a corrupt teacher. Lefi shelo yilmad mimasa, because he won't what? Learn from his wicked ways. Aval emeino Talmid Chacham, but if the student is not a Torah scholar with his emunah intact, like Rab Meir, einu mishoy limod lefanav, then Yehuda is not allowed to study by what? A deformed rabbi. The rabbis said to Rab Meir, what's the matter with you? What are you studying by him?
You going off the derech.
You go off the derech. So he says, no. Look at a walnut that falls in the mud. A walnut that falls in the mud. Does the nut inside get affected?
No.
So I'm like a walnut that fell in the mud. I throw away the klipa. What does that mean? I disregard the shell and I eat the nut. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. So what's it all about, Shoshana? What's it all about? So Rab Meir is permitted to study, other people are not, because they'll what? They'll come corrupt, unless you're a walnut that fell in the mud. You know how to disregard the klipa and just concentrate what? On the good stuff and disregard the bad stuff. But you have to be a level of Rab Meir to do that. A regular person, Yehuda, cannot take the chance. Right? Can't take the chance. So let's take a look over here. Somebody has a question. Yes, but I want to have a lot of material. Can you hold the question? Hold that, tiger. Right? Don't go away. There's a pasuk in the book of Yeshayahu. God tells the people in Shayahu's time, when you come to see my face, who needs you? I don't want your karbanot. It's a toyeva. Chodesh v'Shabbat. I don't want it. Chodshechem adechem shana nafshi. God says, your festivals, your new moons, your Shabbos, and all of your service, God says, my soul hates. Loi chafatzti. What does that mean? I don't desire it. I don't need it. But wait a minute. This was your question. The Gemara in Sota, page Mem Zayin says, La'olam yasik Torah mitzvos afilu shlo lishma. A person should always do Torah mitzvot, even not for her sake. Shebatoch shlo lishma, ba lishma. And what's the raya? The raya is from Balak. Yiddishkani, Balak. The wicked guy Balak, remember Balak and Bilam, the two stooges? Balak offered 42 korbanos to Hashem. And because he did that, he was zoichet that who comes out from him? Ruth, the grandmother of the Messiah. I don't understand that. Balak was a lowlife, right? A lowlife. Just because he offered 42 korbanot to Hashem, did he do it lishma? No. Afa Pikain, he was zoiche to be the great-grandfather of Ruth, who became the grandmother of what? Of Mashiach. So the Talmud says, don't you see? Do mitzvot even shelo lishma. And the proof is what? Balak. So why did God accept Balak's karbonot? And the Jews in the days of Isaiah were bringing karbonot, Yehuda. You asked that question. And God says, Lo chafatzti. What does that mean? I don't want it. How come he desired Balak's phony offerings? Yiddish Chanoch. And in Isaiah chapter 1, he tells the Yidden, Lo meli roves of chachem. Who needs your animals, dam parim? Lo chafatzti. I don't want it. You come to see my face with your karbonos. God says, get lost. And here, the Gemara in Sotah, page 47, Daf Yomi will be coming next week to it. No, Balak, the lowlife, he brought karbonos to Hashem, even though he meant himself. Alpha became, God rewarded him. So Yehuda Lev asked this question. That's a good question. This prompted the shir. Doing mitzvot, may I fake it till I make it? And the nefesh achayim makes the kasha stronger. The Talmud in Sotah Mem Zayin says, La'olam yasik b'torah mitzvah shelo lishma. What does la'olam mean? Always. Always. A person should always do mitzvot, even shelo lishma. Because you continue to grow, even though you're doing it for selfish reasons. I'm all mixed up, Chava. So why did God tell Isaiah, tell the Jews, I don't need their karbonot. Get lost. So the answer is, Yehuda, you asked this question. The key is, in Tosfot and Tainus that you have in front of you, if you're doing it because you want the kavod, that's fine. But if you're doing it lekanter, the English word contrary, which means to pervert, you don't want the kavod, you're doing it to pervert the Torah, like Nebuch deformed rabbis who married two homos. It sounds like a sick joke, but under the chuppah they have two homos. You know, the chassan kala under the chuppah, they say, Baruch At Hashem mesameach chatan im hakala. So they never said, it sounds like a sick joke, Baruch At Hashem mesameach chatan im hachatan. It's sick and getting sicker.
Yeah, it is. Right on the street.
Baruch At Hashem mesameach chatan im hachatan. So that, for him, that's a potion of death. AIDS, VD. He's not doing it to be called rabbi, he's doing it to pervert the Torah. So that is a potion of death. What type of shalol lishma we're talking about, Yehuda? If you want the kavod or the girl, that's okay. Because you'll graduate to lishma. But if it's to pervert the Torah, like gay rabbis under the chuppah, story, the guy walks into a gay synagogue in Greenwich Village. You heard the story? All my stories are true, but some didn't happen yet. This guy walks into a gay synagogue in the village. It's called Simchat Torah. And he walks up front, and he puts his arms around the guy, begins to kiss and hug him. So the gabbai walks over to him and says, "What are you doing, mister?" He says, "What do you mean this is a gay synagogue?" He says, "Yeah, but you don't mess around with the Rebbitzin." Get it? You don't mess around with the Rebbitzin. Hands off the Rebbitzin. Where was I? Anyway, so if you do it for the kavod and shidduch, that's okay. And Nefesh Chaim says, not only okay, la'olam. Do it always for that. And I'll prove it to you why. Nike, just do it. But if you're doing it like kanter, the English word, to pervert, contrary, then God tells the Jews in the days of Isaiah, who needs your kabbanot? Balak wasn't doing it to what? To pervert. He meant himself, looking out for himself. So God rewarded him. He gave him a granddaughter like Ruth.
Wow.
But the Jews in the days of Isaiah were doing it to pervert the Torah. Then God says, who needs your korbanot? Get lost. Depends what shelo lishma. If you want to pervert the Torah, then, of course, if you do it to pervert the Torah, like a deformed rabbi, then the Torah becomes lo yaleinu sam hamovet, potion of death. And fake it till you make it. The greatest sage who ever lived was Rabbi Akiva. Remember the Gemara Menachos, page 29? Moses said to God, you have a guy like Rabbi Akiva, why are you giving the Torah through me? Menachos 29. The greatest sage who ever lived, Rabbi Akiva, who Moses said, give the Torah through him. For 40 years, he was an ignorant shepherd. He became the great Rabbi Akiva because of the pretty girl, Rochel, Yehuda. You know what he says? Sheli v'shelachem shelah. He had 24,000 Talmidim. And he said, all of my Torah and all of your Torah, 24,000 students, shelah, belongs to her. Because she had a beautiful face. You must have had a beautiful, what's the song? Must have been a beautiful baby. The great sage Rabbi Akiva became the greatest sage who ever lived for a beautiful face. Was that Lishma? Lishma, for her, for the girl. He became the greatest sage. That's Rabbi Akiva. Rav Shimon ben Lakish, But Metzia, page 87. He used to be Meir Lansky, a Bugsy Siegel. Shimon ben Lakish. Rabbi Yochanan said, what are you wasting your time with the Jewish mafia? Bu about tshuva, do tshuva, I'll set you up with my sister. She's Miss Israel. He said, I can't. You know what? You got a deal. But Metzia, page 87, buddy. So he retired from Bugsy Siegel, became the greatest Amora because of a pretty girl. Is that Lishma? So what do you see? It's for her. It's Lishma. For the beautiful baby. That's okay, buddy. That's okay. Whatever it takes, except to pervert the Torah. If you're doing it to pervert the Torah, samamovet. But if you want a beautiful girl, fake it till you make it. Because you have a guarantee. Talk shelo lishma, ba lishma. And the greatest Tana who ever lived, and one of the greatest Amora who ever lived, became what they were, and they admit only for the beautiful girl. Just do it, Nike. They got everything from us, Chava.
Yep.
Fake it till you make it. Except when you're doing to pervert the Torah, then Chanoch, then get lost. Okay? But now we got a problem. Now we have a problem. The Rambam tells us in Hilchos Malachim, Aryeh, I think you asked me that question the other day? No? Nechama asked, where is she? Nechama, I didn't forget. I did my homework.
I have another question.
1 minute, one at a time. One at a time. Nechama asked the Rambam's question. The Rambam Hilchos Malachim says, appointing a king is a mitzvah like putting on tefillin. Lama lo yratza HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So why was God so against it when the Jews asked for a king? It's a mitzvah like putting on tefillin. The Rambam asked that question. Sharona. So the Rambam answered, Lefi sheshalu b'taromet, lo l'shalu kai mitzvah. They didn't mean the mitzvah. They meant b'taromet. They didn't do it for the mitzvah. They didn't do it l'shma. Therefore, God was what? Upset. Wait a minute, ask me a question. We just said, Rabbi Yaakov, Tog shelo l'shma ba l'shma.
Right.
What?
So what perversion of the Torah were they trying to do?
They weren't.
All right, so.
So that just begs the question. That's Nechama's question. The Rambam's question. appointing a king is a mitzvah like putting on tefillin. Why didn't God want? Says the Rambam, because they didn't do it lishma. So I'm asking, so what? We just said, Ruvain, that what? Nike, just do it.
Yeah, but that's the whole nation is supposed to.
Ruvain, you're beautiful. Ruvain, you stole my thunder. Ruvain gave the punchline.
That was the whole nation.
1 minute. I'll refine Ruvain's answer with another question.
You didn't hear the answer?
I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. I don't want you to go home yet. So to answer this question, I'm going to ask what?
Another question.
In Parshas Truma, God says, "V'yikcholi truma," take for me truma. What's the word li? Says Rashi, lishmi. You want to build a Beis Hamikdash? Lishmi. For my sake, why? We just said, Nike, just do it. Reuven gave the answer, a blessing on your cup. When do I say, just do it? When it's mitzvah de yochid. But appointing a king, building a Beis Hamikdash, Nechama, that's a mitzvah de rabbim. There, if it's not lishma, forget about it. Reuben, how'd you know that? You have ESP. Isn't that wonderful? Mitzvah de yochid. Fake it till you make it, Lillian. That's mitzvah de yochid. Individual mitzvah. But a mitzvah de rabbim, appointing the king. I have a mitzvah to appoint the king. Klal Yisrael has a mitzvah to appoint the king. I have a mitzvah to build a mishkan. Klal Yisrael. There, as Reuven pointed out, if it's a mitzvah de rabbim for the klal, then it has to be lishma. The rule is fake it till you make it. But every rule has what? The exception is Yehuda, mitzvah de rabbim. Appointing a king, building a mishkan, rose a mitzvah de rabbim. There you can't fake it till you make it. There it must be lishma, and therefore the Torah adds a word, v'yikchu li truma. Says Rashi, li lishmi. You're building a Beis Hamikdash. It has to be lishma. You're appointing a king, a mitzvah de rabbim. There it got to be lishma. And since it wasn't, therefore God was upset. They wanted a king because Shmuel HaNavi was too Haredi for them. They wanted a boogie a little bit. A king, won't be so Haredi. So it was Reb Shmuel. They didn't want Reb Shmuel. He was too Haredi. They wanted to be like the nations. A mitzvah de rabbim, that must be lishma. Different strokes for different folks. I think Rabbi Yaakov had a question. What? Speak up.
I guess my question at the end of the first part of your talk today.
Yeah, which was?
About Talmidei Chachamim.
Go ahead.
The Chazon Ish gives an extremely stringent definition
Of?
Talmud Chacham.
Go ahead.
Right? In other words, in a sense, you have to know everything. The Chazon Ish says if somebody comes and asks you a question about religion,
Right.
or a piece of meat, or what have you, you have to be able to answer immediately.
Yes.
That's a Talmud Chacham. Anything less than that, according to the Chazon Ish,
Okay.
is-
But he was always a machmir.
which leaves
Machmir dus, machmir jens. I'm also a machmir. I tell my wife, machmir dus and machmir dus.
No, but what happens now is we throw around the word scholar.
Talmud Chacham.
Take any sign in Israel, any billboard.
Yes.
The Harav HaGaon, Talmud Chacham is going to give a speech tonight for 5 minutes.
Right.
The word has lost its
You're right.
value. So how do you know what it was?
How do you know who's a Talmud? You give him a test. I don't know. How do you know who's a Talmud?
One guy could be a Talmud.
L'chama, how do you know? Give him a test.
No, also people have specialties. I mean, you were Talmidei Chacham in one area.
Okay.
And not in another.
Okay.
So then you don't know where you're sitting.
I guess he's known by his colleagues, not by Joe the Bum. His colleagues consider him a Talmud Chacham. Yes, Nechama?
I have a question.
I hope I answered the first question.
Well, let me ask my question.
Go ahead.
When you said in the last session that appoint a king is a mitzvah.
Right.
Okay. And my question from the last session, we got held until today.
Right.
Is that why is it not considered a mitzvah in the same vein as, let's say, kashrus is? Kashrus.
It is. It's one of Tayyat Mitzvot. To appoint a king is like putting on tefillin. That's the whole point.
But except that it's Rabbi.
No, listen to me. Okay, but wait. Kashrus, for example, the language of the text is im tochlu, if you will eat, right? So if you will eat meat, then this is what's acceptable. If you will eat fish, this is what is acceptable. Right?
Yeah.
You're not forced to, but if you choose to, then this is what is
Right.
appropriate, what is acceptable.
Okay.
Fish, what is
But it's a mitzvah to eat kosher.
No, listen.
There's a mitzvah. If you eat meat, there's a mitzvah to eat kosher meat. It becomes a mitzvah. You don't have to eat meat. But if you eat meat, it becomes a mitzvah to eat kosher.
Okay,
No.
now,
So?
in the same vein, in the same sense, that if the Bnei Israel were to now want to appoint a king, then this was going to be a voluntary
Not so.
on their part.
The Rambam disagrees. It
I
says,
know, that's what I'm just...
Soim tosim alecha melech. It doesn't say if. There's a positive mitzvah to appoint a king. In Pashas Shoftim. Just like there's a mitzvah to put on tefillin. Just like a mitzvah to eat matzah when. There's a mitzvah to appoint a king. So the Rambam asked, Hakamas HaMelech mitzvah lama leirotza kudish baruch hu? That's the Rambam's question. So he says, because they didn't do it lishma.
Okay.
So why not? So what difference does it make?
So now I would like to, continue my thought.
Yeah.
Personally, this is how I really believe this.
Yeah.
Right? That if somebody doesn't really want to, let's say, keep kosher, but they keep kosher, right? Then long term, they will be blessed.
You have free will not to keep kosher. There's a mitzvah to keep kosher. You have free will not to, but you have to pay the consequences. There's a mitzvah not to wear shatnez. If you wear shatnez, you transgress the consequences. Person has free will. But the point is, appointing a king is a mitzvah. Why was God upset even though Shalom Lishma? So Reuven gave the punchline, because that's mitzvah derabim. Mitzvah derabim has to be Lishma. Okay? Mitzvah de Yochid can even be for selfish reasons. Yes? Aryeh.
Couple questions here. First of all, the case of Rabbi Meir, which you brought down.
Right.
We have a problem with Marasai in there, because someone who sees them is going to be led astray on that.
Right.
They're going to take the wrong educators to help them.
Right.
Okay, the rabbis aren't concerned about that.
And how come he wasn't concerned about it?
Well,
Why wasn't he concerned about it?
for himself is okay, but I'm
Yeah.
talking about the other people who are going to watch him do that.
Yeah. Okay.
So why should he be?
So he made the statement. A walnut that fell in mud. Right? So I know to throw away the dirty klipa and just take what's good from the guy. I can do it. If you're not Rav Meir, forget about it. But you're right. What about the Marasayan? What? It's a good question. And the rabbis were upset with him. Buddy, the rabbis were upset with Rav Meir. You're setting a bad example. Aryeh, your point. Rav Meir Balanes. And the rabbis were upset with him. But he's so attached to a Rebbe, he becomes like a parent, Shona. Rav Soloveitchik Zatzal says that the teacher-disciple relationship is sometimes even closer than a parent with a child. Rav Soloveitchik, I have a tape where he said that. The teacher-disciple relationship sometimes is closer and tighter, Yiddish Shirley, than what? Parent-child. So Rav Meir just couldn't separate himself from his teacher.
That's because you can choose your Rabbi, you can't choose your parent.
You can't choose what?
You can choose your friends, but not your family.
Wesleycha, according to Kabbalah, it remind me of another shir. We choose our parents, Rose. Ooh. Aryeh, that's a cliffhanger.
That's right.
According to Kabbalah, we choose our parents. Rivka, you know that? Good thing you came today.
I don't study Kabbalah.
We're over 40, we can talk. We do choose our parents. Do you know that? The Ariya Kodesh says we choose our parents. Before we come down, God says, choose which parents do you think will help you do your tikkun. That's a whole separate issue. But according to Kabbalah, we do choose our parents. Huh? What?
How come not everybody does their tikkun?
How do you know?
After they choose their parents?
Sometimes my tikkun is not to behave like them. Sometimes my tikkun is, Rose, to see what they are and do the opposite. Sometimes that's my tikkun. But the Ariya Kodesh says we do choose our parents. Yes.
How come I'm 6 feet
Why
What? Speak up.
why the student feels closer to his Rebbe.
The Rav Soloveitchik said, not me. I heard him on a tape. I have his tapes, Baruch Hashem.
That's my answer, because from
Why is this closer?
Rebbe he gets food for Olam.
Beautiful.
And from his parents he gets food for Olam.
Dr. Peter just made a great point. I'm telling you, you guys are great. Mishnah Bava Metzia says, if your Rebbe or your parent is held captive, you only have enough money to ransom one, who should you ransom? What? Okay, let's talk in
regular terms.
regular terms, the Rebbe. Because your parent gives you physical life. What's 120 years compared to eternity? But your Rebbe gives you eternal life. So therefore, the Rebbe comes first. Parents give you physical life. Your Rebbe gives you eternal life. What's 120 years compared to what? Eternity. What? Shirley, speak up.
Parents who give you spirituality also.
Oh, so therefore the Gemara explains, if your parents pay for the Rebbe to teach you Torah, then a person's agent is like what? Himself. So then the parent comes first, because if he pays for a teacher, he's like teaching you through a shliach. So the Gemara makes that point. If your parents pay for your Torah education, David, they come first, because he's your parent and what?
And your spiritual parent too.
Teacher too, because if he pays for the teacher, he's like teaching you himself. It's called a person's agent is like what? Himself.
So you're trying to say that you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your parents?
No, you don't. We do choose our parents. Whether we know it or not, Chanoch, Kabbalah teaches, we choose our parents to help us do our tikkun, and sometimes by behaving exactly the opposite of them. That's my tikkun. To see them and not be like them. That's my tikkun. Sometimes, yes?
So you look at your parents.
Right.
You're a youngster. They're the role model.
Right.
So how do you know?
So as you get older, so therefore you have to study Kabbalah. Right?
But you're younger.
As a youngster, you don't know. But if their parents are abusive, they're your role model. The role model is to be the opposite of them. That you should not be an abusive parent. They abuse you, you should not fall into that trap, not to be an abusive parent. That's my tikkun, perhaps.
That assumes you know the alternatives. Sometimes
Okay.
you consider the abuse as
So,
because we flip that around in our mind.
okay, so
But you can see the alternative from other people.
so therefore you have to study. Yes, you have to study.
So if you're all secular, what do you know?
Okay, so Baruch Hashem, you find the long and winding road. What? Yes.
Sometimes your parents choose you. I'm adopted,
Okay.
and I still have the story that my parents told me of going through the nursery with everybody's,
Right.
identity, and my father who wanted a boy, but he came across this little girl who was chattering around. He said, "We'll take her."
Okay.
And
Wow.
they were fantastic
Right.
parents.
Right. A person can ask Chanoch. This guy was born in Meah She'arim. His father is a great rabbi. And I was born out in the middle of nowhere, and parents that are not religious. Is that fair? That's my tikkun. My tikkun is to be born perhaps by parents that are not from, and my tikkun is the long and winding road. Baruch Hashem, my parents were from, Baruch Hashem.
Amen.
And I grew up in an FFB home. So I was lucky. lucky or that's my tikkun. Other people were not so fortunate to be born dafke by parents that are not from, but their tikkun is the struggle to find themselves despite the hardship. That's their tikkun. Just like our fingerprints are unique, our tikkun is unique, right? You go into a hospital and the doctor's giving out pills, right? So he gives this guy blue pills, he gives this guy red pills, he gives this guy green pills. So the guy gets green pills, says, hey doctor, I want the red pills. Don't give me the green pills. Does that make any sense?
No.
Ani Hashem Roifecha, there's one profession, Chanok, that God calls himself in the Torah. Ani Hashem Roifecha. That's why every Jewish mother wants her son to be a doctor. That's God's profession. One profession. God says, I'm the doctor. I'm giving him green pills and him red pills. You can't ask me why. Doesn't make any sense. Everyone gets their prescription. So my prescription, Baruch Hashem, was to be born by frum parents, Baruch Hashem, who gave me a great Torah education. And my friend, his prescription was to be born by parents that are not frum. That's what his neshama needs. The struggle. We shall overcome. The doctor knows. I don't know why. He's getting green pills. You're getting red pills, blue pills. No, doctor, I want the blue pills. Make any sense? The doctor, one profession, Mikimia. Ani Hashem Roifecha. Not your creator. I'm God, your doctor. So that's why the Jewish mama wants her kid to be a doctor. That's God's profession, right, Aryeh? Yes, go ahead.
We're talking about emes right now, and you're saying that you can fake it till you make it.
Right.
That goes against emes, and it says in the Torah, bar checker tirfa. Isn't there a contradiction?
So that's an upcoming shir, Aryeh. You must have ESP. May we lie for shalom bayis. What is emet? Stay tuned for the coming attractions. May we lie.
Yeah, thank you.
Ruvain, I'm sorry. Fire away.
I want to ask a question about the content part, the contrary. When you said it, it reminded me.
Pervert.
Yeah, but when you said it, it reminded me of the Bundes. Remember the Bundes?
The Bundes.
They went totally in the face of Yiddish.
They put on a Yom Kippur ball. Yom Kippur night, they put on a ball with music and dancing and food. That's to pervert the Torah. So that God tells Isaiah, who needs anything of you? If you're out to pervert the Torah, we don't need anything from you. Balak was not out to pervert the Torah. He meant his selfish reasons. That's also okay. B'toch shelo lishma, ba lishma. Okay? Yes, Aryeh.
He criticized Esau then because he tried to fool his father.
But he was perverting the Torah. Esau was a perverter. That's the whole point.
How come Yitzchak didn't see that?
What? He was blind to the fact. Get it? There are none so blind as will not see. Right? He was physically blind, the Talmud says, because he was blind to Esau, Reb Shmuel. Why did God punish Yitzchak with blindness? Because he was blind to Esau. He looked away, so God says, Midah keneged midah. Right?
I thought it was from the tears of the mother.
Great people make mistakes. The Torah doesn't cover up. The Torah doesn't cover up the mistakes of the superstars. Yitzchak made a mistake. He turned a blind eye to Esau, so he became blind. The Talmud says that.
So he was
What?
He was playing Avram with he was.
What? He turned a blind eye. It's painful to face the truth.
But he was
You turn a blind eye, so midah keneged midah, he became blind. What? Justice is blind. What? Any other questions, comments?
Love is blind.
We have a great cheer Thursday at 2 o'clock, current events in the Haftorah. You won't have to buy the Jerusalem Post. You won't have to listen to the news. You come Thursday, 2 o'clock, you'll see current events in the Haftorah. Thank you. Good afternoon. Tada.